Strap in, folks. It's time for the Car JoeMeZ.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to
podcast.
episode 401 of the Car JoeMeZ podcast. I'm Mez, and my co-host, as always, is
the magistrate of Caravan City. I am Captain Joe Shoes from the Car JoeMeZ podcast.
Yeah, you are, buddy. What's up? How you doing this week, bro?
We are super busy. We've got a lot to talk about this week. A lot was going on.
Ooh, I like when a lot's going on. Okay.
We talk about this because whenever, especially now with our anniversary movies, this movie keeps coming up. Did you know that this past Sunday was the 25th anniversary of the release of the Phantom Menace? And we just made a joke about retconning it to where we thought it was good last week.
I know they're celebrating this year, but I did not know that this was the release. Wow. They released that early, huh? I figured, okay, that's an interesting release.
I felt like it was more towards the summer.
Yeah,
myself,
that's crazy.
No,
okay.
It was this past, was it May 18th or 19th, I guess? And your boy actually went and watched it on anniversary day.
What the fuck is going on? Okay, I'm like, wow.
You know, I put it in the group. I put it in our Facebook group, which is very simple to join. If you'd like, just search Car JoeMeZ podcast on Facebook. And I put it in the group. I said, anybody watching this movie for the anniversary? And everybody left laughing emojis. And I didn't want to be the one like, well, I'm kind of watching it.
Oh, hysterical. It's true. I didn't see no yeses. I saw a lot of nope.
Joey Hudson talking about watching the commercials so he could see the
fast food
tie-ins and stuff. There was a Taco Bell tie-in. I put the commercial on our social media.
Ooh, yeah, that's always fun. The tie-ins, especially for that movie. I mean, we're not at the point. Listen, I still think it's probably the best of the three of the trilogy of the prequels, but it doesn't mean it's good.
I think I still go with what is it, Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Sith? The third one, yeah. I still go with that one. I think where that movie suffers is the fact that you already know what has to happen, right? Like there's no surprises.
Yes.
But I did watch Phantom Menace, and still not good.
It's not great. But there's good stuff.
It has moments where you're like individual moments where you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, or this is kind of cool. But it's as a movie, and it's over 2 hours. It's not good.
It's not. It's like even like the good shit. Like at the end, you got some good stuff, and then they keep cutting like the Jar Jar. You're like, I don't want to cut the Jar Jar. Stay with the Jedi's. I don't want that other.
And now Lucas directed this one himself. Now, granted, I'm not the biggest. Oh, this director's style or whatever.
Sure.
But just the way the movie's put together, it feels very jumpy, very kind of back and forth. It doesn't have like a real flow to it. And when you do feel like you're getting into something, it jumps to something else. And it's just, I don't know if that's Lucas's inexperience as a director, which, I mean, he hadn't done much. He had written the other movies, but other people had directed them. I mean, did he do that? What, THX 1138 maybe? Did he direct that one? Like,
I think he did like 3-4 movies. But either way, it's been like a while. When by the time Phantom Menace comes out, it's still been years since he's done anything.
It's crazy to think that right now we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace. Meanwhile, Phantom Menace felt like an eternity from the last Star Wars movie before that, and that's only 16 years from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, there was a longer gap later. It's crazy. It don't make sense to me, but this is people get excited for this.
But the merch for this movie and beyond just the figures, we posted something. I tagged you in about the PEZ dispenser.
Oh, that shit was awesome, bro. That's a big ass thing too. Like it looked like one of those Funko Pop scenes where it's like this whole big thing. That's a crazy PEZ dispenser. Fucking Jar Jar. I love it. I need it.
It's stupendous. There's like a giant Jar Jar too that I like. Now, I'm entertained by how much people hate Jar Jar.
Sure.
I get it. I don't really have strong feelings about Jar Jar either way. But the way like real hardcore Star Wars people hate him entertains me. And there's like this 16-inch or 24-inch Jar Jar Binks doll, whatever, that I've considered just buying for people and just like sending it to them as a surprise. Like, oh, you know what? You love Star Wars. Here's this Jar Jar Binks figure that can fucking peek on you in the bathroom at 3 a.m.
Oh, have you ever seen on the internet? There's this fan theory that people really would love to happen where Jar Jar is a secret
Is
dark
the Sith,
Sith,
right?
like he's a dark Sith. There's those those conspiracies and stuff like that's a fun stuff. Like coming up with silly shit. It's dumb as fuck, but it's like, oh, that would be interesting. The evil mastermind is Jar Jar Binks. Imagine.
Thank you guys for listening to the Car JoeMeZ podcast. Please remember to hit that subscribe button wherever it is that you're listening to this. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or if you're watching at youtube.com/@CarJoeMeZpod, please remember to hit subscribe there. Follow us on all the social media at Car JoeMeZ and Gomez. Let's hit the breaking news music.
Ooh, baby. Breaking news. Oh, I'm excited to hear what's going on this week, baby.
Very quick this week with the news, Gomez. Two quick things.
Okay.
Number one, coming exclusively to Walmart in June. So just what? A week and change away, right?
Yeah, a couple days.
Exclusive. We love exclusives. Flamin' hot Cajun Cheddar Cheetos.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh, Cajun. I do like Cajun flavored stuff. I love that Old Bay sauce. It's good shit.
I'm a big Flamin' Hot Cheetos guy. I like going to the movie theater. They do the popcorn with the Cheetos mixed in, and you have the option of regular or Flamin' Hot. Always Flamin' Hot.
Yes, caliente, papi.
That's what they call me on the streets. They say, there he is, Flamin' Joe. Flamin' Hot Joe.
There's a difference. We don't like Flamin' Joe. Flamin' Hot Joe is where it's
whichever one makes me the most money. You can write it down. And number two, Gomez, available now at McDonald's. A new McFlurry. It is the Grandma McFlurry. It's got chopped candy pieces and a grandma syrup, which is supposed to be like hard candy flavor. It's probably
like butterscotch, I would imagine. Yeah.
So the whole gimmick here is this supposed to taste like Werther's Originals or something that you would get at your old grandma's house.
I'm with it, baby. Let's go.
I'm gonna try this out because if it's like a butterscotch or a caramel or something, I want to see if it's close to the Rolo McFlurry, only without the chocolate. Doesn't look like there's any chocolate pieces in this.
Maybe chunky pieces, right? A little hard.
There's hard candy pieces.
Hard candy piece. Okay.
But they're not. It's not branded with like Werther's or anything.
Sure.
It's just saying hard candy.
They couldn't get that licensing deal. That's what.
Yeah, it got to be something like that, right?
Tastes like grandma. Have the grandma McFlurry. Like what? Tastes like grandma. What are we doing?
Flaming grandma, people.
And why are we releasing it now? Shouldn't it have come out a couple weeks ago for Mother's Day?
No, like, it's not Grandmother's Day.
But grandma's a mom. That's how you got
they're all dead.
They are.
Every single one of the Golden Girls. You want to know what fucked me up this week? Here's my, this is how I know I'm old for the week.
Here we go.
There's a clip from the Golden Girls of Blanche, like in an episode, she's going, well, I am 42 years old, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
42? Wait 1 minute, bro. There's no way.
So I don't know if she was just like lying to a guy that she was trying to pick up, but for the second, when you realize that you're in the same age, classification as the Golden Girls, it is a harrowing experience.
Bro, it's always Wilfred Brimley was 30 years old.
It's like, when he made Cocoon.
Like that man was 30. What the fuck? What happened back?
He had a very hard life.
Life was rough, man.
So that's the news this week, Gomez. What I want to get into is a show that wrapped
Oh,
up last week
okay.
after we
Ooh.
recorded. X-Men 97 had its finale.
Oh, yes,
And we've
it did.
spoken about this show a little bit as it, after it started, and then at the midway point, we had a big episode. So now it is
Oh, yeah.
concluded. I very much enjoyed this show. I thought it ended
Fucking so good.
the way they have kind of adulted the X-Men up, and now obviously they're not dealing with the standards and practices for Saturday morning kids television that the
Sure.
original show was dealing with, stuff like that. But it did a couple of things very, very well. And I don't want to say I loved every episode. There's probably one or two that I was, could have taken or leave. There's the one where Jubilee is in the video game
Oh, you didn't
with
like that? I thought it was a
Mojo.
cool idea. Like, it was
It
cool to
was
see the video
cute,
game
but like
stuff. No,
not.
it's not a bet. Yes, it's not. That's that half episode, and they do the storm stuff.
And also the
Yeah.
one with Professor Xavier in space. I don't like
In
when the
space,
X-Men
yeah.
go to space.
Sure, I get you. You belong on the ground, bro. What are we doing?
Like, at least the Asteroid M stuff has kind of stuff to do with the X-Men. When they go to space, things get really, really weird and trippy, and we have to introduce all these other new characters. And it's like, we already have enough characters going on here.
That's Marvel loves getting weird into space. They love that shit.
But either way, I really enjoyed this. We got a bunch of Marvel cameos in this show, which I thought was very cool. I wasn't really planning on, whether it was Captain America or Iron Man or Black Panther, but King T'Chaka.
King, yes, the king.
Spider-Man and Mary Jane watching the TVs at the end there. Did you see that?
Love it. Even Spider-Man's in an episode too, regular just popping up.
Yep.
I do love that they did that. I wish they did maybe a little more, because I know, like, back in the day, like, Spider-Man would pop up in an X-Men episode and vice versa, like that. Like, I wish we could get like a little more interwoven. Like, I want to see like some Daredevil. I know Daredevil shows up.
Daredevil,
Like,
fighting.
let's do some of that.
And what I really liked about
stuff.
this is whenever there's a Marvel anything, especially a live action movie, and you say, oh, the Avengers are fighting the Chitauri in New York, like, well, what the fuck is Daredevil doing then?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, he doesn't leave this 4-block radius of Hell's Kitchen.
He can't leave.
So at least with this, where everything's going on with Asteroid M and it may be falling out of the sky, you get to see like what these people are actually doing right now. And I thought that was a nice little touch. And I thought it set up a lot for season 2. And now we know there's apparently going to be 5 seasons of this show.
They're talking big, so I don't know. Like, they're getting crazy now. It went from season 2 to 3. Like, let's see.
Well, from everything I had heard, that by the beginning of this season 1, they had already kind of greenlit season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But the creator of this version of the show had a 5-series plan for it going in.
Okay.
And now it seems there was an issue with he had gotten fired before the show even went. Apparently he's back. I guess whatever went on wasn't that bad.
Interesting. I gotta see. Interesting.
So it seems as if he's back. So his vision for this show is going to go back into effect. Either way, I really enjoyed this X-Men show. I'm 100% on board, ready for season 2. God only knows how many years it's going to be for season 2.
I think that one is done. I think they did 1 and 2 right after each other. So we might have but the other ones, who knows when the fuck we get those. My thing is, I go as long as you want, but because this is a continuation of the original series, they burned through so many storylines. I'm really curious
did go through a lot of different source material here.
So I wonder what, like, if they're gonna bridge it to maybe, go into 2000s X-Men's, later X-Men, start incorporating other things, because we need some new material here.
I would think so, because now you have to realize, since the original X-Men the animated series, we've got decades more of source material
and new characters and all that.
Had a nice tease at the end there with Apocalypse picking up Gambit's card while on Genosha. So Gambit, I would think, comes back as one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse.
Horsemen of Death, yes, sir. Oh, no. Very interested to see.
I think this is a great time to hit my game show music.
What? Oh, baby! Oh, shit!
Hello and welcome to another game show edition on the JoeMeZ podcast. Today, Michael J. Gomez, you're in the hot seat, and we are playing X-Men character or astronomy vocabulary term.
Oh, shit. I am fucked.
I am going to give you a phrase, and you are going to tell me if it's an X-Men or a vocabulary term from astronomy.
All right. I'm nervous, but okay.
We've got 7 questions on the board. Gomez, are you ready?
I'm ready. As ready as I'm going to be.
Number 1, Polaris.
So, I mean, I know this is a astronomy thing, but I'm going to assume this is also an X-Men. I think you're trying to get me right off the bat. Is both? Does both count? Or do I have to pick one or two?
You got to pick one or the other.
Okay, so I'm going to say it's an X-Men.
It is an X-Men.
Yes!
Polaris
Okay.
was Lorna Sally Dane, who joined the X-Men in issue number 60 in September 1969.
Oh, yeah, my favorite. I love her.
Number 2,
I'm screwed.
Sunfire.
This sounds easy. This sounds like my first guess is to say it's an X-Men. But I don't trust you, bro. But I'm gonna say X-Men. I think it's an X-Men. Here we go. Lock it in.
You're sure about this?
Yes.
It's an X-Men.
Oh, finally I'm getting stuff right.
Sunfire is Shiro Yoshida, who joined the X-Men in giant-sized X-Men number 1 in July 1975.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I know now. Here we go.
Number 3, Sprite.
All right, bro. See, I don't think it's an X-Men, though. Is this right from the Immortals, right? Or Eternals? But that's not an X-Men.
It's a delicious lemon lime cold beverage.
I'm going to say this is a astronomy term.
Sprite is an X-Men.
Oh, no.
It was a variation name of Kitty Pryde, who joined the X-Men in number 138 in October 1980.
God damn Eternals. God damn you. Oh, all right.
Number 4, Refractor.
All right, this is... What would that mean in astronomy terms? Oh, maybe something about the light, but this sounds more like an American Gladiator to me than an X-Men. But I'm going to say it's an X-Men. It's too cool of a name.
It is an astronomy vocabulary term.
Fuck. God damn it.
A refractor is a telescope that gathers light with a lens.
Shit. All right. Okay. It was too cool to not like, come on, that's the fucking name, bro. Refractor.
And also big in the trading card business. You get your refractor versions of cards. They're like variant, special, holographic foil, whatever.
That is cool.
The next one, this is number 5. And is this the final one? I thought I had 7. Apparently, I don't have 7.
Right.
Earthshine.
Okay, you're right. Earthshine. This is like, I want to say astronomy because that's a whack ass name. Earthshine? It's gotta be astronomy. I'm going astronomy. Lock it in.
It's astronomy.
Woo! Okay, because bro, if you're like, that's whack. That's a whack name.
Earthshine refers to when sunlight is reflected by the earth that makes the otherwise dark part of the moon glow faintly.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, okay.
Oh, and I do have one more.
Oh.
Last one, Gomez. Sunspot.
Oh, come on. This is... All right. I'm going to go astronomy again.
Okay, it's an astronomy term, but it was also a character in X-Men 97. played by
Oh, it's that
Roberto
guy.
da Costa,
Yes, that's right. It's that stupid guy.
who actually joined the X-Men in Secret Invasion X-Men #1 in August of 2008. That
Wow.
should have been a layup. You decided it shouldn't
I
be.
fucking, cause like I know he's like a main character on the show, but he's such like a oh yeah, I'm here again, guys. Like
Yeah.
I totally forgot. Yes.
And I don't think they say the actual name Sunspot
the end,
until
right?
the final
Like
episode.
at the end, he's like, oh, but I remember.
So
Damn, I'm
Gomez,
doing good.
you finished 3-3
Fuck.
on X-Men character or astronomy vocabulary terminology. Thank you for playing. Thank you guys for watching. Let's be back next week or whenever I can come up with another game show.
Son of a bitch. I didn't lose. I didn't win, but I didn't lose. I'll take it. I'll take the time.
You did way better than when we played Scroll or Finnish Hockey Player.
Bro, that was a bad one. Here, see, I tricked myself. I was in my head too much. I could have got all these. Goddamn. All right.
What are your
time.
first impressions when I say we're playing X-Men or astronomy?
When you say again, then you go X, I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is he gonna? And then you say that, and I'm like, fuck, because I know there's people that got stupid names. You know, Thunder, that could be an X-Men name. I'm sure there's some jerk off named Thunder or something.
There's a lot of stupid X-Men names.
God damn.
So that'll wrap up that part. One other thing that I watched this week, Gomez, over on Peacock, there is a 3-episode docu-series called BRONX ZOO 90, Crime, Chaos, and Baseball. And it is about the 1990 New York Yankees. Not the Yankees from the decade, simply the year 1990. And all the craziness of that year with the Yankees and how it put them on the trajectory to then become the powerhouse Yankees of the mid-90s and beyond that now we recognize and associate them with being. Could have done without this.
Really? Okay. See, when I first heard of it, I thought it was about the 90s in totality. So now it's just 1 year. I am a little less interested in it. So
as a kid, when I was, and now you got to remember, I'm in my 40s now. When I was a kid, the Yankees sucked.
Terrible.
It was a Mets town.
Crazy.
And there was a lot of crazy nonsense going on with the Yankees, and a lot of it focused on this 1990 season. But what happens with this documentary, maybe if they told it in one episode, I'd be like, oh, okay. On IMDb, this show has done very well. It's got very high ratings. Each episode is like an 8.2 or an 8.0 or something.
Okay.
I'm watching this. They must have heard. It feels like the producers of this documentary found out one singular story about outfielder Mel Hall. Mel Hall played for the Yankees at the turn of the decade around that time, maybe a couple of years with them. Before that, played with Cleveland. But he has like this 15-year-old girlfriend that he goes to her prom, and he submits a photo of the two of them for the Yankee media guide. So it's like pictures of the players and their families. And it's this Mel Hall with this young, high school girl who was coming to the games and doing her homework in the wives and girlfriends section.
Very interesting. Jesus.
So it feels like somebody heard this story, and this was a story, no doubt about it. There's also a story about another player around the same time named Luis Polonia, who had been accused of rape at the same time. And that, for some reason, feels like it's left out of this documentary, because I guess it's not the exact year. But someone must have heard this Mel Hall story and decided, oh, we got to make a documentary about this. So it becomes the main story, and they keep trying to find a way to go back to it when it's like, you don't need, you told it.
We get it. He's a piece of shit. We got it. Move on.
He's in prison now for grooming and pedophilia and all that.
Okay.
And there's also stories about Don Mattingly's contract situation and Pascual Perez being a free agent and not wanting to come to work. So there's there's other stuff there. It really does not need to be 3 episodes of this, though. You could have done it in an hour or an hour 20, probably told a much tighter story here, and we could have hung up and moved on and been like, oh, that might be a pretty good documentary. But for 3-episode miniseries, there's really not enough meat on the bone.
Interesting. Yeah, I said I was interested because I thought it was something else. Now I'm really not interested. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pass on this one.
And the thing, I don't know who made it. I mean, they get major players to be involved in this. So it's Brian Cashman, who's now the GM of the Yankees, but at the time was a very young intern or whatever. They get Mattingly, they get Dave Winfield.
Okay,
they have, they're talking about Steinbrenner getting suspended from baseball. They have Buck Showalter, who was the third base coach and then went on to become the manager of the Yankees. They do have these people who, they're there. They're the ones that should be telling the story. But it's just, I mean, it's an NBC thing, so you figure there's a lot of money behind it. For me, if you're a big Yankee fan, then yeah, go ahead and spend the time. Sure. Otherwise, if you just have a passing interest, I don't think you need to put yourself through it.
All right. Thank you. Because it was on my list. Now it's off the list. Thank you, Joe. Doing it. Good woodwork here. I watched some movies. I just want to talk about some movies real fast here. Let me see. So last week we mentioned Planet of the Apes. I didn't get to see the new one yet because it was a busy ass week. This weekend was I totally forgot I had a party and lacrosse. It's just crazy. But I did stay home, watch the movies. So I watched the 2001 Planet of the Apes. We had mentioned I was going to throw that Tim Burton one on.
I was going to say this was the Tim Burton one.
Buddy. What a piece of shit. So first of all, I didn't know nothing about this movie. So I'm listening, finding stuff out about it now that I'm rewatching it. Tim Burton was a late hire on this movie. So like he's basically just like a director. Like he just like got called in to just direct this movie for us.
So it's not necessarily a Tim Burton movie.
It's not really
a Tim Burton movie. Be directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah. So that's interesting to find out about that. Like basically they had this idea to do a remake and they had all these amazing like special effects as in the prosthetics and stuff. The apes look stupendous in this movie. Great work. And it seems like they just had this idea and they were just like rolling with it to where he gets hired. He doesn't really have any input into anything like at all. It's just basically come shoot this. So we'll give him the, the benefit of the doubt that he did the best he could.
It's very odd that Tim Burton would take on a project like that.
I agree. Maybe it was
the money must have been so
one
good.
One for you, one for me. I'll do this for you. I get to make some bullshit later on. That's how it works sometimes. But the movie, there's just nothing to the movie. Like they have some ideas, but the movie's very contained. They don't really do much. Mark Wahlberg is fucking atrocious. Like I'm not saying he's a good actor. He has his moments where he could do his thing. This is not one of them. Terrible. But if someone wanted to rewatch this, I think it's worth the rewatch because the makeup is so good. And I do think the people in the ape makeup, they're giving good performances. Paul Giamatti is one of the main guys. Like they're going for it. They're doing their thing. Yeah, he's like the ape that sells the humans and stuff, the slave guy.
Help, the humans are about to escape. Get your paws off me, you dirty ape.
So yeah, not good. Like a fucking 1.5. Like it's a bad fucking movie.
Oh, it's that bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like it's not. No, it's bad. They do this thing where apes they jump and stuff like that, but for some reason they do this thing where anytime a ape wants to like jump or something, it's like they shoot them through a fucking cannon. Like someone jumped on like a trampoline and just went, whoa. So it looks kind of awkward because they're just like someone's over there. So it's like, whoa, and then they're just like flying through the air and shit. He jumps on his horse like this. Like that, this is some silly shit, bro. It's good. It's good to laugh at, but not good enough to sit through. It's an hour and a half.
I was going to say.
It's an hour and a half. So that makes it tolerable where you're like, all right, you could watch this piece of shit for 90 minutes and have some fun with it. Also this week, I watched another movie featuring prosthetics. I don't know. Have you heard of this movie, Joe? There's a movie out now, very small release on VOD now. It's called Sasquatch Sunset. This is a movie.
You know damn well I have not heard of
but
Sasquatch Sunset.
The main star in the movie is Jesse Eisenberg. Okay, he's a pretty famous actor.
He was at one point, yes.
Sure, yes, he doesn't really have that, but so he's like the main character in the movie in full Bigfoot prosthetics. There is no dialogue in this movie. It is a movie about 4 Bigfoots and just them living, doing their thing, whatever it is Bigfoots do. And it is like about an hour and a half. And Joe, what I tell you,
wait, this is a feature-length movie?
A feature-length movie. Yes, that's why I didn't know if you've heard like this. Some Bigfoot. I've been hearing about it. It's finally out to rent. You can go on your Amazon, your Apple TV, wherever you buy your shit on VOD. You can spend your $7 and watch 4 Bigfoots just walk around the forest. This how they talk.
Would it be Bigfoots or big feet? Big feet.
I guess big feet, but I like saying Bigfoot.
Sasquatches?
Yeah.
Sasquatches,
yeah. Let me tell you, this movie, it's not for everyone. There's a lot of I guess we call it toilet humor. There's a lot of Bigfoot genitalia that is seen. There's sex scenes. There's a lot going on in this.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the animal kingdom here. The big feet need to get down.
So this was something. I was it's been on my radar, and then finally came out and said, I gotta check this out. It's a JoeMeZ movie in theory, but I wasn't, it was a little too out there for me. It's like a 2-star on a generous day too.
I'm really happy for Jesse Eisenberg in that he really got to explore his range as an actor.
Like, the only way this movie gets made is probably because of him. I would assume he attaches it because this is.
We're not only do we want to do this movie, but Jesse Eisenberg has agreed to play the Sasquatch.
God, Jesse Eisenberg has signed as the lead.
the titular Sasquatch.
Oh my God, this movie. When it pops up eventually on a streaming service, I'm gonna remind people, and because you got to see it to believe it, folks.
It sounds like it.
One last movie I saw. It's another new release, just hit VOD. Challenges. This is the Zendaya sexy tennis movie.
Yeah.
The sexy tennis movie, yes. It's fantastic. I loved it. I'm a big fan of the writer-director of the guy, Luca Doncic. I love that boy. Woo, baby. We're going to the finals. The Timberwolves, your shit stops now, baby. I hate that I have to root for Kyrie, though. It hurts my soul. But this is what we do in sports. Let's go. You're a piece of shit until you're on my team.
You're a piece of shit until you're on my team. Until you're my piece of shit.
Yes, I was looking forward to challenges. It was good. Not as sexy as I thought it was. Not that it wasn't sexy. It is sexy. I thought it'd be a little more sexy, but still, it's a very good adult picture. The soundtrack is fantastic, but I will say there are some times where it's a little overpowering of the scene. Like, it'll be a scene of just me and you talking. We're just talking, not so intense. We're just having a conversation, and the music's like boom, 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 boom. Like, it's like building up. Like, so you're like, oh, something's gonna happen. Like, you're like fucking ready. Like, okay. Like, it keeps you in that mode for the whole movie. It's
giving you a cue that doesn't pay off.
Yeah, but it builds, and you get those payoffs. And the tennis scenes are like some of the craziest cinema. Like, it's great the way they film some of these tennis.
So what's actually the premise of this movie? Zendaya is a tennis player, and
so it's about 3 tennis people. They all play tennis. There's 2 boys and a girl. The boys are friends. They've been friends for many years. They play each other in tennis tournaments. They hang out. They're just rivals, but they're friends. They run into Zendaya one day. She's the young up and coming high school phenom. Decides to go to college instead of going to the pros. the same college that one of the guys go to. They all start hanging out. She gets an injury, and so she can't be a thing. So she becomes a coach, and some stuff happens.
Oh,
But it's basically that. It's about 3 tennis players on different projectiles. Different projections there. One's a top level. One never really kind of makes it. One's the injury, and it goes back and forth between them first meeting 13 years ago to now. There's something happening again. It's not really a spoiler. The paths cross again later on in the future.
And sexy. We get sexy.
Very sexy. Yes, it's sexy because they're all young and she's a beautiful lady. So they're like, I got to get me some of that. So it's a little rivalry. Who's gonna get her?
Yeah, I've been there. I've been the Zendaya in that sandwich.
So yeah, that just hit VOD. It's still playing in theaters. Some
That
places.
hit VOD. I thought it was just a new release.
No, it hit VOD this past week. It's about 2 hours long, so I didn't
Was
really
that
get a
in
chance.
theaters? When did that?
Yes, it was in. It's probably been a month.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's probably been out for about a month now.
Completely missed that one.
But I mean, this is what's happening, right? By the time you listening to this, the Fall Guys should be on VOD this week. That's been out for 3 weeks, and people like it. People who have seen the movie are enjoying the movie. It just seems that nobody's
seeing
going
the movie.
to the movie, so they're kind of trying to do that. I hear the same things happening with Ryan Reynolds. Not a good week for that imaginary friend movie, that Netflix movie.
I could see that being a confusing one for audiences because you hear the premise and you're like, oh, so it's a kid's movie. But then again, it's Ryan Reynolds probably talking about his dick every 5 minutes. So probably not a kid's movie.
I've heard that. Who is this movie for? There's jokes for kids, it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's something I'll see when it comes out. I'll be like, hey, Shiloh, you want to watch this? But I'm not running to see that. Taking her. We can wait. This week, Garfield comes out. We're going to go run, see Garfield.
Thank you, Chris Pratt.
That we're going to run and see. Woo! We do love Garfield in this house. She loves Garfield.
But she's a weird little cat girl. So
she loves her cats. So she loved the Bill Murray Garfield.
Oh, you know what? Your daughter is an idiot.
But she's like 3 years old, and it's just an orange cat dancing.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. She
did not like the sequel, though. So that's good, at least.
Oh, that's promising.
Kitties when they get swapped in the UK or whatever.
Oh, I gotta have a talk with this girl. She listens to me. She listens to me.
She's watched the cartoons that we grew up on. She likes that too. She likes Garfield. You just don't like Garfield, it seems, huh?
I'm not a Garfield guy, no.
Oh, come on. I love Garfield.
He's a fucking scumbag to Odie.
Good, fuck dogs.
Well, I'm a dog person.
I'm a
Team
Odie.
Odie.
There you go, Team
No,
Garfield.
you're not an animal person at all.
I'm not an animal person, but if I had to choose, I would pick the cat over the dog. It's a little less work. I don't need 7 kids in my house.
It's a lot less work.
So, man, I had Garfield books when I was younger. Like, I love Garfield.
I did too. I liked
it was a thing. Garfield was the thing too. Like, it was hard.
Garfield was whenever he had like his holiday specials come on TV.
Yeah.
It was a let's crowd around the TV moment.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about how popular Garfield. Everyone had the thing sticking to their car, right? The hang in there, whatever.
The little plushie with the suction cups. Yeah,
cup.
That was a thing. Yeah,
that was a thing. That makes me feel old. So yeah, those are the movies I watched. I watched some other stuff, but those are the big ones. Oh wait, Joe, I did watch one other movie about you.
About me?
No, I said how about you? Did you watch one more movie this week, Joe?
You watched a movie about me, and I was upset I never heard of it.
I would love to watch a movie about you.
I would too. Starring Chris Pine as Captain Joe Shoes.
Oh, that's a great choice. That's a great choice.
I did watch one more movie.
Oh, me too. What you watch, Joe? What do we watch
So
this week?
this was our movie of the week. It is called Whiplash from 10 years ago, 2014. Whatever I was expecting a movie named Whiplash to be about, it definitely was not this.
I know that.
So when this movie begins and JoeMeZ is like, oh, this is one of my favorite movies of the past decade. I've never even fucking heard of this. Other people, listeners to the show,
they got excited
and said, oh, this is a movie I really enjoy. I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what is this movie about? Car chases, fucking fight scenes with weapons training? Like, is it about the lizard from Masters of the Universe? Like, which direction are we going with this? And instead, we get a story about a promising young drummer who enrolls at a cutthroat music conservatory where his dreams of greatness are mentored by an instructor who will stop at nothing to realize the student's potential.
That's a good summary. That's good.
And that has nothing to do with anything I expected this movie to be about.
I told you it wasn't anything like that. I told you, he's my little music nerd trying to play his drum.
So this movie stars Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons.
Boy.
Miles Teller, the student, J.K. Simmons, the teacher. Like I said, comes out in 2014, runs an hour and 46 minutes. Listen to some of these ratings. IMDb gives it an 8.5. Rotten Tomatoes, 94% fresh. Audience score of 94%.
Wow. I love it.
The budget for this is $3.3 million. Domestically, it brings in $13 million with an international pull of $36.3 million.
Okay.
Doesn't make a lot in the actual calendar year of 2014, but it does get some Academy Award consideration. Yes. So after that, it does get a little, makes a little bit more. But for the year of 2014, only pulls in $5.5 million, which puts it 159th on the list of movies for 2014. And we don't need to know what was ahead and what was behind, because we've never heard of number 158 and number 160. So.
That's pretty great. 159 is wild.
So originally, the writer-director of this movie is named Damien Chazelle.
Yes,
and he could not get funding to get this movie made. So he decides, you tell someone the premise. This seems like a tough nut to crack.
What do you need? 50,000? What do you need here?
He decides to film this movie as a short and submit it to Sundance that way. And he ends up winning best short, whatever. And that's how all of a sudden people start paying attention, because it won this competition at Sundance. He gets his funding that way, and he's able to redo it as a full-length movie. And J.K. Simmons actually was in the short as well, but Miles Teller comes on board and takes the lead role of Andrew Neiman in the feature length. He was not in the short. This movie is definitely not a me type of movie. It's, once again, we're going back to what I said last week about Napoleon Dynamite. What are we watching? Like, why am I just watching a week in this guy's life who, not to the extent of Napoleon Dynamite, where it's just like, there's no story here. Here, this
guy has something going for him. Yeah, he's got something going for him. He's not just some little jerk off.
But there's no baby face in this movie. It's heel versus heel, and who is going to be the bigger scumbag? The character of Andrew, as played by Miles Teller, and the character of Fletcher, the music teacher, J.K. Simmons. Fletcher is a all-time great heel, in my opinion. Amazing. J.K. Simmons in this role is absolutely phenomenal.
Fantastic.
You cannot help but hate him because of how good he is in this role. And Andrew, the student, is like this. So he's so entitled and smarmy.
Yes, he thinks who he is. Yeah.
And for someone who has never accomplished anything,
that's life.
it's angering to see this person have this opinion of themselves and then have to keep watching them. And because I'm hoping he fails. I'm hoping he fails throughout the movie. And then he kind of does.
He kind of does.
You know, the movie doesn't really give you a satisfying ending of like a conclusive ending,
Sure,
like
I get
what
it.
happened to his life, whatever. It just kind of ends, and you're like, I don't really like that, because at the end of the day, which one of these guys won? And
It's up
I
to
can't give you the
interpretation,
answer
yeah.
for that.
But that's the way it's meant to be. It's whoever you think won.
That's the way it's meant to be. It's just
you could
not
go,
the way I would prefer it to be.
sure.
But at the end, even no matter who won, we all lost because they're both pieces of shit.
Sure. They are. Yo, could you imagine going to music school? I just want to be a drummer, boy. I want to play some jazz. And you got a teacher slapping you in the fucking face.
Listen, as someone who has been in competitive aspects all throughout their life, it wouldn't be the first time I've been slapped in the face.
Sure.
And you just suck it up and do it. So, especially if this guy Fletcher has this kind of reputation that he's kind of built up to have, this motherfucker could basically slap me with his dick and I'm not going to do anything about it.
It's true.
Like, if I think that this guy really holds the keys to my success and my future, I mean, what am I? I'm going to sit there and probably take a lot of shit before, you know, and then when I get to go home, I'll fucking rage about it and I'll scream about it and I'll cry about it and I'll get it out of my system. But I'm probably going to be at practice the next day. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
Sure.
Sometimes when you want to do these things that are not normal career trajectories, you got to deal with some shit. That's the real world. So just saying, oh, no one should have to deal with that. Okay, then this is not the business for you. You know, it's like today's thing where everyone goes, oh, but wrestling is for everybody. No, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. If you're a fan, then yes. If you are a fan of wrestling, you should always be comfortable coming to a show. You should always be able to relax and enjoy yourself and use it as a form of escapism and feel safe in the community that we have as wrestlers and that we have for you as a fan, where you can feel the comfort in coming to enjoy the show. But as part of the business, no, wrestling is not for everybody.
I agree. Everyone has hopes and dreams, of course. Well, sometimes they're not realistic, and that's the problem. We live in the world where no, it's you just do it. Go ahead.
Should I get to play second base for the Mets because I really, really like baseball? Baseball's not for everybody. Baseball's for talented people.
But you put in the work, Joe. You don't understand.
You know, and you're going to deal with fucking asshole teammates, asshole coaches, asshole teachers, asshole instructors, asshole fan. You're going to deal with that regardless. But this is one of those situations where I'm sure a lot of people are going, oh, why didn't he report him? And he does eventually, right? You know,
yes.
We get the
what
whole thing. But what does it do? He's still out there playing his shows and he's still going to have his reputation and he's still going to be. And they never really tell you what Fletcher's background is here.
Yes.
It's just kind of assumed throughout the reverence that he's given by not only the students, but also the other members of the faculty. It's like, oh, he's that guy. So there's obviously an aura around this guy that he's done something. I just really don't understand the jazz music scene.
You didn't enjoy some of the music you were listening to?
It's very good. And all the other players in this band or whatever are legitimate musicians. And they're very, very good. And I can appreciate that because I have never been musically inclined at all.
Yeah.
It's such a weird, I don't want to say weird, but because it's something it's so outside the box. Like, it's one thing to say, I want to be a musician. It's another thing to say, I want to be in this jazz ensemble and go to competitions.
I want to be in an orchestra.
I mean, the world needs that, right? We need orchestra musicians.
We do need that. It's true. You don't think of it.
You don't think of it. And even in all my travels, and I've met a lot of interesting people over the course of my life who have a lot of varied career arcs. I've never met anyone who was like, oh, I'm the saxophonist in a orchestra. I play the trombone in a jazz court. You know
Yeah.
what? I've
I'm the
never met
session,
any.
yeah. I just
And
at the
so to
studio
see
perform.
what is essentially a college student going to this specialized school for this is like, man, when I was in my 20s, I was just like, let's get like the new whatever band is hot now. Like, why wouldn't you just want to be in a real band?
Yeah. I got to pick up this guitar now. Let's fucking go.
So
that's part of the reason I like the movie, because that's something that's a world that we are no clue whatsoever,
so
that could
different.
be all.
Yes.
It's like, who knows if any of that is real, how it really happens. I don't know. I believed it. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's how it works. Yeah, you got to do this. And
the performances are convincing enough where I'm buying what they're selling. Like, that's not the issue here.
Yes, 100%. So that's one of the things I do like, because it's something that we don't get a lot of. And I do like movies like that. I understand what you mean, like with Napoleon Dynamite, where there's nothing there. It's just this fucking jerk off going to school. There's nothing there. At least with this one, we're in a world that I'm not familiar with. And, the main character, he has something going for him, because maybe he is the next big, jazz person. Maybe he does have that.
The next Buddy Rich.
Yeah. So I get that. But so what you're saying, I understand, because you just don't like certain things. But it sounds like at least you weren't hating watching this movie. It sounds like you were enjoying it, and probably at the end you were a little disappointed because you didn't get that ending. I would think.
I think I was watching the movie with a lot of curiosity.
Sure.
As Ted Lasso would say, be curious, not judgmental. And as I watch this movie, but there are certain things in it where I do question, and I'm here talking about, you're going to deal with assholes and you got to put up with it. You got to eat shit sometime. But the amount that this guy just makes his hands bleed from playing.
Yes.
I don't know jazz drums. I admit that. But it feels like every day, multiple times a day, this guy drums himself to the bone, to the point where his hands cannot help but bleed. And he's just able to continue to do it over and over and over every day. And it doesn't matter how often he does it, he can still play the next time around because he just does it. I would think that once you make your hands bleed the first time, they got to heal. Apparently, they got to heal.
A blister. I'm on the DL for 10 days. Get out of here.
And he's just putting his hands in ice water and then putting little Band-Aids and then calling it a day and doing it all over again. I would think at some point the skin has to heal, right? Like, can you just go back a couple hours later and just start playing again?
I think you could probably get away with it for like a little bit, but you're not going to last. Like, if you did it 3 hours and you wait an hour and you're like, oh, you ain't doing 3 hours again. Like, you'll get some time, but yeah.
Now, even the fact that we sit here and we say, okay, J.K. Simmons' character is a great asshole, whatever, and he's obviously our main antagonist here. There is the scene where they have the competition, the school competition come up, and this character, Andrew's bus was running late and it dropped him off, and he's in a hurry to get to the show. He gets into a giant car accident where he crawls out of the car, runs into the building, disheveled, bleeding from his head. Nobody, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit what year we're in, or it's not. This isn't 1945. This is 2014 that we're playing. You're gonna tell me that a kid walking in who looks like he's been in a car accident because he has been in a car accident. You're gonna tell me we're just gonna let him sit at the school and play the drums?
No one cares. They're like, you good? He fixing his skull. He does very obviously look like a car accident victim.
Like, this is one of those things that scene really hurts the movie in my mind because it is so preposterous.
Sure.
No matter how much this guy wants to be on stage, no matter how much the teacher is a fucking piece of shit, this guy's not playing. Like, at some point, some judge or someone else in the band is gonna say something like, this guy has head trauma. Maybe don't let him play the drums right now.
CTE wasn't really a thing a couple years ago, Joe.
Bro, this
so
is
only
only 10 years
good.
ago. The Will Smith concussion movie was already out at this point.
Damn, there goes that one. Oh, I get it. It's a little, that is probably the most unrealistic portion of the movie, running out of a car accident to do your thing. But it's just, it's to emphasize.
T-boned, like completely T-boned.
It's a good accident.
Truck. It's a hell of it. It's not just a fender bender. Like it's like there's body bags usually when you see this kind of accident. And this dude just crawls his way out, grabs his drumsticks and says, I got to be on that stool.
Okay. All right. I agree with that one. It does. You could be like, that's a little much for me. I get it. I do. All right, Joseph, but I'm okay. I feel with all this being said, I think we're getting a good thing here from you. I'm gonna hit some music here, Joe.
Are you a man? A double main man? Are you a man? A triple main man? A man? A quadruple main man? Are you a man? Are you a man?
All right, Joe. Main man standing time. I'm telling you, I think with all that you said, I still think we're going to get a good score here for 2014's Whiplash. I feel it. I think the performances are going to save us.
We got some very good performances in this movie. It's really just two characters. It's really just the back and forth between these two characters, where everybody else has such an insignificant small role in this movie that they do not affect the story at all. And even the character of Nicole, who's played by Supergirl Melissa Benoist, she's in this film for probably less than 8 minutes of total screen time. And this is like supposed to be his main love interest, and outside of music. And he's just like, nah, I can't date you. I need to be great, and I can't be great if I constantly got you wanting to talk to me. So it's really the story of two people, and those two people play their roles incredibly. They're just wonderful. At the same time, there's no one you're cheering for. So as you go through this movie, it becomes hard to really let yourself connect emotionally, because you don't want anything good to happen to either of these people.
Sure.
And that, like I said, that one scene with the car accident takes me completely out of it. Completely removes me from the movie. At least when I'm not just cheering for someone, I'm still following the story. And it's a world I don't know about. It's a world I'm being introduced to. I'm following. I'm getting interested in. And then this car crash scene just takes me completely out of it. And that's like the big turning point of the movie, right? Like the guy loses his spot in the band, and everything moves on. It feels like now the guy is listless and aimless in life because he played so terribly, because he had goddamn head trauma. So it's this very pivotal scene that kind of ruins the movie for me. And there are enough things to make it worth the watch still. But at the end of the day, I think this is a 2.5 main man.
Double and a half. Oh man, I thought we were gonna get that 3 still. All right, 2.5. All right. Listen, I picked the movie that had things that you don't like. I get it. All right. Okay.
But do you at least get it? Like when I say
yes, I do. Listen, one of your biggest things is you don't like a movie without an ending. You wanna and I get this doesn't have one of those endings. So right away, I know it's already got a negative towards it, So I feel that. I love the performances. J.K. Simmons won an Oscar for this performance, rightfully deserving. I mean, it's it's an all-timer performance. This is some great shit. I thought it would propel you. I thought the the battle between the two would rise it up for you. I do understand also, I guess you're supposed to really, you're supposed to root for Miles Teller, but there are plenty of reasons where if you don't want to root for him, I get it. He's not a very likable character.
He's not a likable character. He's got,
I get
and
that.
he's Miles Teller, so he always looks like a smarmy piece of shit, even if he's just sitting there having chicken cutlets.
Hysterical. I like Miles Teller. He's been in some good movies that I've liked in the past. So, when this movie came out, I'm still on the Miles Teller bandwagon. He's taken a hit recently, hasn't really done much, but he was good in Top Gun, right? He was good. We liked it.
He was an asshole in Top Gun too. The movie was great. I love that movie.
Some guys are born to be assholes, right?
Some guys are born to be assholes. This is the reason why you don't have Pac be the heel against Okada.
It's true.
Because
that's what I mean. Babyface or heel, he does the same act. Like he don't change. He does the same stupid faces, the same moves, everything.
Like I gotta pretend Finn Balor's different when he puts on a bunch of makeup and his Venom. When he's doing the same exact, the only thing difference is the entrance.
He doesn't sell as much because he's a monster. He's a demon. Don't you talk bad about the demon, bro.
At least I knew when Jerry Lawler took the strap down, someone was going to get an old what for.
Exactly. That's what it is. I put the makeup on. That's the same difference.
Miles Teller should always be the dickhead. And for the majority of his roles, he is that's why the Fantastic Four didn't work. I'm supposed to believe that Miles Teller is the smartest man alive.
But Mr. Fantastic is a dickhead.
Yes.
So that does work. Like, I know I'm the smartest.
It's completely a bad movie, top to bottom.
It's just bad.
It's just bad.
Come on.
Not necessarily because of him, but it's just bad.
Oh, man. I should have put that on the wheel.
It's fine. When you have as great of an antagonist as you do here with J.K. Simmons, there's no yin to that yang.
I get it. You want that big white meat baby. You want that straight up just hamming and hot. I get it.
Like it's just a battle of two entitled egos. One who's actually theoretically accomplished something in the Fletcher character, and one who has done absolutely nothing and thinks he should be there.
I agree. All right. Listen, as always, your points are valid. I might not agree with all your things, but I get what you're saying. I'm giving this a 4, quadruple main man. This is my shit. I watched half of it. I didn't get to watch all of it, but on the rewatch, that was what I was like, this movie still. Like I said, I love being with these characters. I love a good character movie. You put two characters in a room for 90 minutes, I watch the shit of that movie. I love that shit. Just talk, tell me the story. Oh, it's good. And this guy, I mean, you probably haven't seen any of his other movies. I'm a big fan of the writer-director, Damien Chazelle. La La Land is wonderful. First Man is fantastic. I have not seen Babylon.
10 Cloverfield Lane,
which is fantastic. 10 Cloverfield Lane is wonderful, Joe. I think you would get a kick out of that movie. That's a good one. A good switch up on the Cloverfield. All right, so it wasn't the exactly what I wanted, but it's still better than how we started, right? The past 2 weeks were not very good. At least this was some entertainment, some enjoyment you got out of this movie here, Joe. So now I want to ask, we could spin the wheel, Joe. We could spin this wheel. Or do you want to go to the movies, maybe see something new? Because there's not Garfield.
I was about to say, if you tell me Garfield.
There's another movie coming out this week. Furiosa, a Mad Max movie is coming out this week, Joe. It's a prequel, so technically you could watch it without, you don't know nothing. But this movie, I'm so excited because if there's another movie that I love as much as Whiplash in the past 9 to 10 years, it'd be Mad Max Fury Road, baby. And to see in that world again, I'm running. I got my tickets Thursday night. Woo, baby. You want to watch some Mad Max, Joe? What do you want to do?
I've never seen a Mad Max before, so sure.
You don't have to. We could spin the wheel. I'll go see it. We'll still talk about it on the podcast.
So let's spin the wheel then. I can't
Sure.
promise I can go to the movies.
Sure. Let's spin this wheel here. Let's see. All right. This wheel is up. Let's spin it. Where's my fucking thing? Let's spin that wheel. Oh, you're going to wish you went to the movies, I bet. Here we go.
I'm probably going to wish I just don't ever watch another movie again.
All right. This is a good one. This is good. We got another 10 years coming up here, Joe.
What the fuck?
It has landed on Edge of Tomorrow. Have you seen Edge of Tomorrow, Joe?
I can't even tell you what this movie is.
This is the Tom Cruise movie with Emily Blunt.
I don't like her.
Okay, well, let's see. We might like her in this one.
Everybody, like, she's like the thing, especially now. And it's just like, nah, I don't agree.
I don't agree. Let me see.
She did that fucking Jungle Cruise movie. It was dog shit.
Yeah, but we don't count that. Come on, man.
I count it.
Oh, so this is a Tom Cruise movie. It's a sci-fi movie. It's one of these movies. It's a Groundhog Day movie. Tom Cruise has to relive the same day or whatever it is over and over to try to stop this war. Edge of Tomorrow.
So it's like
good.
It's Days of Future Past with Tom Cruise.
Sure. This is a movie. I think this movie is fantastic. I don't know the scores up front, but I'm pretty sure this has a good audience score. Like, I hear about this movie. Like, this is the movie people like, especially when they talk about Tom Cruise and, you know, besides Mission Impossible, like, oh, you like that Edge of Tomorrow? And I think you're gonna like this one. This is on looking up here. It's a $3.99 rental, boys and girls, on your Google Play, your Amazon. I mean, I could throw it on the Twitch if we must. If we want to have some fun, we could always do that. But yeah, this is 2014's Edge of Tomorrow. I'm trying to think now. I think Joe will like this movie. I think you're gonna like this one. There's some good action.
I hope so.
I'm in my head. There's a definitive ending. I'm pretty sure. Like, it does end. It's not like open-ended. I'm pretty sure either the humans they win or the humans lose. I'm pretty sure something like that happens at the end. So, all right, I'm interested. Like I said, I'm gonna go to the movies. I'm gonna see Furiosa. How about this, Joe? How about you want to watch Fury Road? That's on HBO Max. If you have some time, see if that interests you, and then we could talk about maybe going to the movies next week for Furiosa. You know, just to change things up a bit here.
Sure.
Yeah, look at this. He's like, nah, not real.
I'm gonna go on HBO Max. I'm gonna see Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and I'm gonna put that on and take a nap.
I believe it, and
I'm
I will.
fucking tired.
Oh well, if you're tired, Joe, let's wrap this stuff.
Let's do that.
It's now time for the big finish. All right, folks, it's big finish time. Let's spin that wheel. Yes, give it to me. Give it to me. Baby boy. Today's big finish. I hope you're going to bring up the movie we just talked about, Jungle Cruise. Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies. Can we name 3 that we like? This is going to be interesting. Here we go. I mean, the rundown. And then what else? What else are we saying here? I'm trying to think. What are
Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
Fast 5.
Yes. That's legit. Fast 5. Okay. Rundown, Fast 5. What else? I'm thinking like everything else. You know.
I hated Red Notice, the Netflix movie.
Yes, I didn't really like that
terrible.
one. Skyscraper, whatever, right? That one. That wasn't that good. Rampage, not really good.
I'm going through his shit now. Free Guy. I don't even remember him in Free Guy.
Probably had a quick cameo.
Yeah. Jumanji.
Jumanji might
The
be
first
that.
one is the
The
first
first
one
one is pretty good. That might be the third one, maybe. Okay. All right, that might be. Because it ain't Walking Tall.
It's not Baywatch. It's not Rampage.
No.
Moana.
You know, you could do that. We could allow a Moana, of course. He's a big part of that movie. We could allow that one.
Hold on. I'm going through his IMDb right now. And this is not a good movie. But I don't remember him in this even for a cameo. Gem and the Holograms from 2015. What the fuck was he doing in Gem and the Holograms? Because I saw that movie. I think I was the one person who saw it.
You were the one. You were fucking hyped for that, and that shit came and went, and
it was one of the most horrible adaptations I could have ever seen.
I forget that shit exists. That is like, I totally forgot about that. Oh, okay.
Oh, G.I. Joe Retaliation. Fucking terrible.
Terrible. We were all excited. Oh, they're gonna do a new G.I. Joe. They're gonna switch things up. Nope.
The
Faster.
other guys, his role, he's in and out of the movie quickly, but
yes, he's good in it, but I mean, he's barely in it. I can't allow that one. That one, no. This is crazy.
Oh,
but,
wow.
And look at the different movies. Like, it's like all over the place. Like, he doesn't know what he wants to do. Let me do this not really funny movie. Let me do this not great action movie.
Gridiron Gang is not terrible, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's all right.
The Game Plan wasn't good. Race to Witch Mountain, no thanks.
Race to Witch Mountain. I forget about it, even though that's the one with the meme fucking over the shoulder in the car.
Fast Five was legit, though. I'll put Fast Five, Moana, and what's the one where he meets Kevin Hart?
Central Intelligence?
Central Intelligence, yes.
Is that the one? Because is there two of them, right? They did another one?
They might have done a sequel, but Central Intelligence has its moments. It's funny enough.
You know, Kevin Hart. You can't go wrong with Kevin Hart, right? You get some laughs out of a Kevin Hart movie. I enjoy some Kevin Hart. All right, yeah. So yeah, I'll go run down.
Wow, that's a
Fast
tough one.
Five.
That ended up being a lot harder than it should be, right?
I think we named 4 or 5 movies out of 25 choices.
Yikes.
Bro. That's pretty bad. As we say, why do we like The Rock? Every day we ask ourselves.
That's tough.
We like him because look what he did. He came back to WrestleMania this year.
The final boss.
And he showed everyone. Because everyone's I don't know your circles, but I've seen this, like, people like, was The Rock really that good? Was he really that good? He came back and he's like, yeah, I was pretty good, guys. I know how this wrestling thing works.
I mean, no matter what we think of his movies, he's still an enormous star within pop culture. So you get that in the main event of WrestleMania. That's the equivalent of getting Arnold to do a match in probably 1990, say.
Yeah, 90, 91, yeah.
Or we'll say a little after the fact, maybe like 95. In 95, WrestleMania 11, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to do the match with fucking Bam Bam Bigelow instead of LT.
Yeah. Actually, Mike Tyson is actually wrestling, not just being an enforcer.
Yeah,
that's that's crazy. Oh, I love it. All right, Joe. Fun little episode we had here. Let's hit him with the plugs and get out of here.
Thank you guys for listening to the JoeMeZ podcast. Please remember to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, follow on all the social media at JoeMeZ. You can follow all my stuff over at the Joe Shoes. Of course, youtube.com/Joe Shoes for food reviews. And if you'd like to support even further, you can purchase a t-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees/Joe Shoes. And don't forget, my other show every other Wednesday, The State of Affairs with Dylan Hornswoggle Postel. And if you're interested in even more content, you can sign up to be a patron over at patreon.com/podexchange for not just State of Affairs, but also Going Postal and the Game Arts podcast.
The JoeMeZ 154, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, all that fun stuff. Twitch.tv/Mez Movie, folks. You never know when I'm going to pop on. Am I going to pop on this week and put on this movie that we're watching? I don't know. I might. We'll see. Follow me. Put on notifications.
We'll be back next week. We're watching The Edge of Tomorrow from 2014 with Tom Cruise, and we will see if it's a Groundhog Day for us all, and if I found another movie to poke holes through. But
Oh, you will.
I'm sure I will, Gomez. But until then, let's make like Tom and Cruise.
Peace. Tom Cruise movie, baby.